Hello, my name is Hayden Mitchell, and today I will be briefly discussing COVID-19 and the potential for another lockdown. To start off, I'm going to tell you a little about COVID-19. COVID-19 is a coronavirus that is typically transmitted between animals and causes sickness. It is originated in Wuhan, China, and is mainly spread from person to person through water droplets in the air, typically spread through coughing and sneezing. A few of the symptoms are coughing, fever, loss of taste or smell, shortness of breath, and difficulty breathing. Today I'm going to discuss whether or not the United States should go back into a lockdown because of the rise in COVID cases and deaths. Currently, the United States is seeing a rise in COVID cases due to the holidays and increased travel. So with the increased travel, more people are coming into contact. They're being crammed into tight spaces like airports. So there's more likelihood of transmission. As of December 1st of 2020, we've seen 200,000 roughly new cases every day reported, and there is also currently no vaccine for COVID-19. There are a couple companies right now that are applying for emergency use of their vaccines through the FDA. This week, the British government authorized emergency use of a COVID-19 vaccine, and the first person was a 90-year-old woman to receive the vaccine. I also want to talk about the economy, which is also just starting to recover. So after the March and April lockdowns, we saw millions of people applying for unemployment. Many people lost their jobs, and the economy crashed. We've started to slowly see it come back with the reopening of public spaces, and also over the Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend, we saw record sales being made online, which is a good indication that people are starting to open back up and be willing to restart the economy. I am now going to discuss whether or not the United States should go into another nationwide lockdown. Going into another lockdown has its pros and its cons. So some of the pros of having another lockdown is that we'll have reduced number of cases. So earlier this year while we were in lockdown, the daily average never climbed above 36,000 a day, which when compared to just this month alone was roughly around 200,000 a day. We also have to take into account that millions of people lost their jobs due to the lockdown. So businesses had to close if they were non-essential. So only grocery stores, pharmacies, and hospitals were pretty much allowed to remain open. So if this would happen again, this would be catastrophic. However, I think that since we have not fully reopened and the economy has not fully bounced back from the prior lockdown, that deciding to go into another lockdown now would be smarter than waiting until we've fully recovered and then having to go back into it. Over the last 2 months, we've also seen a rapid increase in the number of cases being reported. So over the summer, we saw roughly 30,000 or below cases reported a day, and it started to increase all the way up to now we're seeing roughly 200,000. And this is also being compounded with the flu season, which it just began. So we're gonna have to now deal with the flu and COVID-19. So I think this would be a good indication or good reason why we should go back into a lockdown. We have multiple sicknesses. I also think that since the holiday season, that another lockdown could be very beneficial to many people. This would allow them to have lots of family time in a time where we already want to spend time with family, and we wouldn't want to be working in the first place. So I think that a lockdown would be beneficial in that way. I think this would also, since it's a colder part of the year, this would reduce the likelihood of people catching the flu as well. And I would also like to restate that the economy hasn't fully recovered from the April and May lockdowns, so I think this would be a good reason to go back into lockdown currently. We'd see less impact, economically speaking, in terms of if we waited another 3 or 4 months, we'd recover more and then we'd end up sliding further back. Thank you for watching my presentation on whether or not the United States should go back into another lockdown.